Looking for Madden 22 Ultimate Team coins? AOEAH.com is the cheapest and most reliable coins on the market. Click the link in the description and use coupon code SPORTS for 3% off your order. YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Duke back here from Sportsgamerz.com, and in today's Madden 22 tip video, I'm going to break down the best coverage in the game. So, this is going to be a 4-man rush, and it works on current and next gen, but it's very, very good at being able to disguise and also adjust your coverage while still stopping the run and getting a pretty good solid pass rush. So this is something that you can do from a few different playbooks. I'm in the Giants playbook for this video. We're going to be looking at the nickel 3-5 odd. This works, like I said, any system, current or next gen, it doesn't matter. So there's essentially two plays we're going to look at, and it just depends whether you want to play man or zone. Personally, I prefer zone with the way the game is right now, so that's the play I'm going to break down in this video. It's the Sam Mike 3 press. Just a reminder, guys, if you enjoy my YouTube content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, drop me a like, comment on the video. If we could get to 300 likes on this video, that'd be awesome. That's my goal. We'll post the man version of this if we're able to do that. So, with this setup, it's pretty simple, guys. You're going to want to press your coverage, but you don't have to. That kind of just depends upon the speed of your defense, your secondary in particular. If you've got fast corners, fine, press. If not, I just recommend base aligning to back them up to give yourself a little bit more room to work with. We're also going to spread our D-line out, and I like to control the player in the 3-rec hook zone. Now, this is a defense that I do recommend having auto flip on with. I personally always like to match my nickel corner to the side of the strong, alignment offensively with 3 receivers, etc. So at this point, it kind of depends how you want to adjust. We do like to keep this player rushing right here, so this should be your best pass rusher. And you can, if you want, sub in safeties at the spots of the 2 linebackers where you see Parsons and Van Der Esch. Kind of just depends upon your team. If you got a bunch of good safeties, obviously I would probably recommend putting them in the game here. We'll just go ahead and put Hooker in the game. But Parsons, he's a goon. That's going to be my user anyways. So we're just going to leave him in. Now, in practice mode, unfortunately, on next gen, you can't zone drop. So we're just going to have to kind of break it down, kind of like explaining what we would do if we could. But here we're going to go back, spread our D-line out, base line. So at this point, like I said, it's all on the adjustments. The way I like to do it is if I'm going to have my curl flats zone dropped, I like to put them on 5 and then put my flats on 25 to 30. So let's say that we did that here. We had our seam flats on 5. So at this point, it all kind of comes down to how you want to adjust. So if I had the bunch over here and I knew that I had a seam flat on 5 and I wanted to worry about the corner route with my user, I could just leave it like this and go. If you're enjoying my YouTube content, I highly recommend you check out Sportsgamerz.com. This is where I post all my premium Madden 22 content. I have eBooks, offensive and defensive schemes, plus I do 4 to 6 premium tips every week in the Madden Vault. This content is available for both current and next gen, so no matter what system you play on, we got you guys covered. Our best offer yet is the Sportsgamerz Madden VIP membership. This gives you access to the entire site, every tip, every ebook, plus the meta reports for only $19.99. I'll post a link to it in the description and the comments. Make sure to check it out for the best tips and content available at the best price anywhere. And go ahead and put this guy in a zone over the middle of the field. Now, that is going to leave your user responsibility to chase a corner route. If you don't want that, what you could do is you could just go ahead and put this guy in a hard flat going to the bunch side, because remember, if you zone drop your flats, they will actually go to whatever depth you put them at, whether it's a hard flat or a cloud flat, and then you could use this guy right here. So it could look something like this. We could have a double Mabel over here, and use her in the middle of the field. Now, like I said, it all depends on kind of what you want to do and the way the offense is attacking you. Because if they're just hitting a bunch of flats and not really even looking for the corner route, well, at that point, there's really not much of a point to even worry about it anyways. You also could man this guy up, too. If someone keeps hitting you maybe with a post, maybe a crossing route, this would be a great player to man up. So, we could man up Tyreek Hill if they keep attacking us with crossing routes, and then our user, again, is going to be on Parsons. Now, another thing I want to mention, if they're hitting you with, if they know how to do one-play touchdowns against cover 3, or you're worried about bombs, the corners and the thirds, if you put them in deep halves, that'll protect you a lot against that. So let's go ahead and get into it now. I really like this defense, guys, because as you can see, just with a 4-man pass rush, I mean, it's pretty effective. It's going to get in there pretty fast. We're going to do that again. So again, you can base a line, and if your corners are fast, you can just press it, but we're not going to do that here. And at that point, it's just all about adjustments. So again, if you don't have your zone drops on, you guys can shade underneath to give you hard flats, and that'll take away the quick flat. You could shade up, and I'll give you cloud flats, and they'll play at the 10 to 15-ish yard depth. So again, kind of all depends upon how you want to play it. Again, we're going to go ahead and user Parsons and let it rock. Again, this is verticals. So I'm going to take away that seam, and then I'm going to get back on the running back, just like that. You guys can see, very, very solid coverage. So let's look at how this might work if they were trying to run a high-low concept on you, flood type thing. We'll actually look at the play flood because that's a very popular concept this year out of the bunch formation. So here we're going to go back to the Sam Mike 3 press. So again, we're going to baseline, and we're going to go ahead and keep our 4-man rush. Now, if they were running something like this, you would definitely want to double Mabel the bunch side. So one thing I might do is go ahead and shade down and shade up to get cloud flats, and then go ahead and put this kind of hard flat to take away the quick flat on the right side of the screen. And then I'm going to go ahead and use our hooker right here. Now, again, this guy can be in whatever you want. I mean, he could be in a flat, curl flat, hard flat, cloud. He could even be in a hook zone. It's completely up to you. It's all about adjusting depending upon whatever the offense is doing to you. You guys can see here, we're able to take everything away and get a nice coverage sack. Now, I like to personally rush 4 on this year's game, even when I am playing coverage, because one thing you have to know is that if you do rush 3, you're not going to get the sheds like you see here. I mean, you guys can see that my D-line is fighting pretty hard. The coverage is really good, don't get me wrong. There's really nobody open here. But my D-line is shedding. Like, they're definitely winning the one-on-ones, or even, whatever matchups they have. And they're getting pretty quick pressure to where the offense can't just sit in there for, 10 years and make their reads. That said, every once in a while, I still do recommend mixing in a 3-man rush because sometimes you just need to. I mean, sometimes you need to double Mabel both sides and you need more coverage, to defend. So, situation like this, let's take a look at what I mean. So, Z-Spot and Go has essentially a corner and a flat on both sides of the screen. This is something that has been a pretty common thing in Madden for years, having to defend the flat and then the deeper sideline on both sides of the field at a bunch. Now, if you were to just go ahead and rush 4, this would be a lot harder to deal with. So what I actually recommend doing, if someone is doing something like this, is rushing 3. So again, you could zone drop your curl flat to 5 and your flats to 25 or so to deal with this if you actually had your zone drops abilities, but because we don't, I'm going to do a cloud flat, as you guys can see, with a hard flat. So we're going to put this guy right here that had been rushing, we're going to put him in a hard flat, put this guy in a hard flat as well, and use our hooker. So this is definitely something that will make you as a user defend the middle. There's nobody responsible for the middle other than you. Now this time we actually do get pretty good pressure. I will say, you're not always going to get that fast of pressure rushing 3. Sometimes they'll just be sitting there and they'll have a lot of time. But you guys can see here the coverage is pretty good. We're able to take away both quick flats. The cloud takes away the C route. And he initially took away the corner route, but again, the corner route was too deep for a non-zone drop flat. So that's why if someone's running corner routes at you, you really do need to zone drop your flats to about 25-ish because that way he won't get behind him. And at this point, you guys can see he's, the deep zone's not really playing him that well. I mean, the deep zone is there. Maybe you can click on make a play, but you don't want to rely upon that. That's why zone drops are very, very, very important in this year's game on defense. But I actually will take this 3-man rush pretty much. If we can get this every time, I'll be very happy with that. But again, you can't rely upon that. If you do this every play, they're definitely going to have some time, and they're definitely going to be able to find somebody open. Now, like you see here, the coverage adjustments are very easy. The 4-man rush is really nice. You do get good pressure. But I will tell you guys, this defense also is very, very good at stopping the run. There are different ways, different areas you can stand to gap shoot. If you guys can give me 300 likes on this video, I will post how to gap shoot all the popular runs out of this defense for you. Again, 300 likes, and I will show you every gap shoot you need to know. Now, the only other thing I do want to mention about this defense is that sometimes, depending upon how your opponent is playing, maybe they start just expecting coverage every play. This is a defense to where even though you're rushing 4, if you rush more players, you can get some untouched heat, giving yourself an extra rusher. If you rush 5, you can kind of set it up almost like the dollar stuff I've shown you, or the 2-4-5 odd, where you have a guy coming off each edge with the 3 D linemen, and you can definitely get some untouched pressure rushing 5 that way. It's not something I really do a lot because I like this defense for coverage, but if you get to the point where you feel like the offense is starting to just pick up that you're playing coverage every play, definitely consider rushing an extra defender to get yourself some untouched pressure and speed up the clock of the offense. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tip video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. It's Duke, and I'll see you all soon with some more great content.